Journey Through the Radiant Citadel is a collection of 13 independent adventures that take your adventures through 1st level all the way up to 14th level. Each of the adventures are designed to be independent and can be ran as one-shots, or you could run the whole collection using the Radiant Citadel as a hub. Now, what is the Radiant Citadel? The Radiant Citadel is built on the corpse of a massive ancient dead creature that we don't know what it was. It's also wrapped around this massive diamond called the Auroral Diamond. The Auroral Diamond is this large, immensely powerful and indestructible diamond with a hollow inside. The hollow inside is called the Preserve of Ancestors? There's quite a bit of greenery here, a little bit of wildlife. Most of the wildlife was saved from their native plains where they could no longer live, so it's kind of like a little zoo. There are also these creatures called Dawn Incarnates, which are basically collections of spirits that are bound inside these gems, and they form together to make what is described as larger-than-life beings that embody the wisdom of ages. So they're pretty cool. Your players can interact with them. They don't have stat blocks, unfortunately, but I guess it makes sense because they're really not meant to be fought. But I still like seeing stat blocks. Also inside the Preserve of Ancestors is where the Speaker of Ancestors are. They are basically the governing body of the Radiant Citadel. They are elected by the people and approved by the Dawn Incarnates, and while they are operating as a speaker, they get some special powers that they then lose when they are no longer speakers anymore. All of their meetings or debates are also open for all of the public to come watch inside the Preserve of Ancestors, so that's pretty cool. Now that's some information on the Radiant Citadel, but why do you need to know about the Radiant Citadel? How's it operate? The main thing you need to know about it, I mean, I guess the Dawn Incarnates are also pretty important, and the speakers are pretty important because they can also send the players on missions, but something that is also very important are the Concord Jewels, which are around the Radiant Citadel, and they are each linked to one of the founding civilizations. You can go inside of these jewels. They can hold people and equipment and even livestock, and you can use them to journey to the civilization that they're linked to. So that is the primary way that people get in and out of the Radiant Citadel. The other way that you could discover the Radiant Citadel is through wandering through the deep ethereal. The Auroral Diamond functions kind of like a light tower or a massive RGB summoning all the nerds to it that are wandering through the deep ethereal. So you could run an entire campaign out of the Citadel going to some of the different civilizations, which is how this book could be ran as a campaign. And then it would function kind of like if you ever watch Stargate, you know, you have like this portal, they all like live in the Citadel, and then they're just like shooting off to different civilizations and almost dying and trying to help out where they can. You could also just cut out the Radiant Citadel altogether and use something like Spelljammer that's coming out and just use that ship to bounce around between the different adventures, or you could just reflavor the adventures a little bit as needed and throw them into your world because they are independent adventures that can operate as a one-shot. Which I'm actually a big fan of running episodic style campaigns where each adventure is independent from the last. And so this book might be very helpful for people that if you're running an adventure like that and you just don't have time to completely write or homebrew your next adventure, you might just pull one from this. So let's talk about the adventures. As I said, there are 13 adventures that take the party from 1st level all the way to 14th level. Basically, there's an adventure for each level, the only exception being the first adventure, which is 1st and 2nd level. The first half of the adventures, or the lower level adventures, seem to have a lot of mystery and investigation, so if you're into that, those might be really cool for you. Something else is there's actually a decent amount of horror mixed in here. Now, not all of the adventures have this horror element, but quite a few of them do, so if you like that, there's probably something in here that you will enjoy. They also have an entire water-based adventure, so if you like ships and water stuff, that might be cool for you, though it is more of a political intrigue type adventure. There's a lot of that in here as well. They actually don't have too many just like dungeon crawl type style adventures or traditional one. I think there's like one. I'd have to look to see which adventure it was. But most of them are mystery, political intrigue, things like that. Not to say that there's no combat, it's just not a focus. So if your players really enjoy, you know, just dungeon crawls, this might not be the best thing for you. In this, they also included 11 new monsters. The OCD part of me really wishes they would have just made it an even 12 because that would have looked clean here, but they did 11. It's fine. We're gonna work with it. Some of the monsters are pretty cool. This one here is a celestial creature. It has a cool ability where it can flood someone's mind with visions of the future. Obviously, you can use it in combat as the ability is listed out like that, but there's also some pretty cool role-playing opportunity, and as it is a good celestial, typically, you might not expect your party to even fight it, so it might just be a cool role-playing monster. Creature, but anyway. Monster. The monsters themselves, though, I wasn't overly impressed with. I would give them a solid B. Like, they were interesting and they were unique, but I typically look for monsters that have cool effects, and almost all of the effects we've seen other places. You know, there's like a dragon that essentially has a breath weapon, and yeah, it's like the standard stuff. Now, that's not to say that they're bad. Like I said, I think that they're solid monsters, but none of them have me super excited to run them. Overall, though, I think it's a pretty good book, and one of the things I really like about it, each of the adventures are independent, so you can easily plug them into your campaign. If you have Tales of the Yawning Portal, similar to that, where there's just unique independent adventures in there, which can make things easy running a long homebrew campaign if you need something to throw at your players and you're too busy to write something. But overall, yeah, I think it's a solid book. They have a lot of new things added into it, a lot of different locations, and you could homebrew entire campaigns out of the Citadel or out of one of these locations if it really sparks that those creative juices for you as a dungeon master. You could expound that and create entire campaigns off of the spark of one of those adventures. So I think that it's really good. And you can do as much with it as you want or as little with it as you want. Well, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.